I am deeply worried about AI as a content creator. So I've been a full-time content creator now for a while, and I gotta say, I listen to a lot of the podcasts, these AI specialists, and I'm on top of all the AI tools, right? I actually have a channel devoted to reviewing, cross-comparing these tools, tutorials on how to use them. We're talking about HeyGen, Synthesia, InVideo, Syllabi, all these crazy tools. Pixels is a huge one now with thumbnails. And I gotta say, I am deeply worried, right? And I know we listen to a lot of these podcasts and these specialists talk about AI as far as like content creators. And they keep saying you need to get ahead and be ahead of everything, and I'm constantly dealing with this anxiety of how to leverage AI to automate more output, right? I specialize in long form YouTube videos like you're watching here. This is more or less just like a vlog as I go type of thing, but I feel like it's like, I think if you're a content creator, I think you need to be worried, because if you're using some of these tools or testing something like HeyGen or Synthesia or some of these tools that are replicating AI avatars, essentially, I put myself in HeyGen and I can make legit videos that are like super, super good. And obviously what a person could do is I could put my avatar in there and I could just mass produce videos and just save time on shooting, save time on editing, and because you don't have to edit the videos. And it's like, but the big question lies, are the algorithms going to hate this content? Because I could double down with systems and just mass produce these videos and just like let go of some of my video editors. But the big question for me is, are the algorithms going to hate this content? Are we going to have to separate it? Because on YouTube and some of the other algorithms, you have to actually check a box that says if the video is AI generated or if it isn't. And I think, I'm just trying to think of how us content creators can double down, because I just have a lot of anxiety about all this. And if you've been thinking about it too as a content creator, or maybe you own a media company or you own an editing agency or whatever, I think as content creators, this AI stuff is extremely scary. And if you're not scared, I think you're unaware and you're uneducated, because I have some friends in this space, and they are deeply also concerned and worried. So yes, I think the creator space is one of the best spaces to be in, especially for marketing right now and white collar work. It's just blowing up. We're getting very lucky with that. And the idea of like mainstream media dying, and it almost feels like a lot of these companies are turning to smaller influencers because it's cheaper and the marketing works better. So that's great. We have that on our side. But you also have to worry, you have to think about the economy right now. The economy is not looking great. There's all this BS going on with tariffs. I don't want to make this political, but I think our economy is about to get a little worse. You know what I mean? And you almost have to think about this. And, a lot of people talk about how the economy is getting worse due to like inflation and all this other stuff. And another thing is interest rates. But what a lot of people aren't talking about is AI. And as a creator, I'm very worried about AI, and I think AI is going to be stealing so many jobs in the next 24 months, and specifically AI agents. If you haven't done your research on AI agents, I think you really should kind of like think about the idea of using an AI agent. I don't want this to like panic content creators, but I think if you're looking ahead and forecasting the future of like where to put your money and business and ideas, I think it's in AI, and you almost kind of get panicked a little bit because AI essentially is going to kind of replace content creators a little bit. You know what I mean? As soon as someone can make fake AI avatars that are extremely good and they're almost like undistinguishable for like small businesses and corporations, there's not really a need for influencers or people on camera. I think there will be a little bit of like the industry reverting on itself, but maybe AI is going to make it so people appreciate authenticity a little bit more, and real raw stuff like what you're watching. That's kind of why I'm prioritized doing this. You know, a lot of people in my space are just talking about this nonstop. So you might want to also integrate some authenticity into your content. But, you know, I can't help but just be panicked on like what our future looks like as content creators and like media agencies, and just, you know, it's kind of scary, right? And hit me up in the comments if I'm not the only one thinking about this stuff, because I feel like I can't be the only one, right? So I think the takeaway from all this is, how are you going to utilize AI to automate more stuff and leverage your output as a content creator? That is the big question here, right? So first of all, you're going to have to be using AI essentially in every aspect of the whole system, right? Like with shooting content, well, you probably can't, I mean, maybe shooting the video itself, you could use something like HeyGen, you could automate that. It's a very scary, you know, because like using the AI avatars, are the algorithms going to hate this stuff? So then it's not even gonna be worth your time? Or am I gonna put a lot of effort into using these AI avatars in our videos, and then the algorithm's gonna slam down on this in like 9 months because they'll make some like tool that distinguishes AI versus real human content? You know, like people have been talking about AI being able to like, because like really the only way for them, or the most likelihood of them being able to detect AI in like content creators, is to look into your eyes. Like the biometric, you know, they're gonna read your eyes essentially in the content, and then you're gonna have to validate that on your channels and algorithms and stuff. But like, how close are we to that? That's the question. Could I be using an AI avatar for the next 9 years while they're making this and just capitalizing on all the systems and automation and getting ahead of everyone? Because if I could go out and use AI avatars in my videos, I would save all that time shooting. I would save paying a video editor. I would save so much time. And sometimes the videos like look better, you know, like it depends what the viewer's into. You know, I have finance channels where you sit there and talk about just boring ass stuff, and sometimes the AI avatar does better, you know. But arguably, I think humans are going to want another human to talk with. I don't know, shed some light on that. Are you in on AI avatars? You know, they have AI editing, even though it's kind of a way, you know, AI editing is decent, but I don't think I'd put all my eggs in one basket on that. Tools like Opus Clip and like all these like chat or video generators, the short form reel generators, they all kind of suck if we're being honest, right? And I feel like only newbies are using them and having minute success. And as far as editing, you know, that's, you know, there's tools like Gling AI. CapCut has a lot of stuff where it knows where the line breaks, simple stuff like that. But then you have B-roll. A lot of people, you could be using AI generated B-roll, which is questionable. You know, it depends your niche. If you're making ads, AI is amazing because there's kind of no rules on it right now. So again, I'm just kind of shedding some of the light on this, you know, the AI versus content creators talk. And you know, I'm starting to think like one of my biggest setbacks as a content creator is not allowing people to pay me money to do video, because I find it annoying. And it's, you know, like sponsors and working with small businesses and such, it's just like, it's a drag, man, because a lot of these companies and sponsors, they don't really see the light in what type of marketing works. You know, I have companies reach out all the time and just ask me, we'll pay you $1,000 to do a video on a desk. And I'm like, well, the channel's on finance. Like, that doesn't line up. You know what I mean? A desk, hey guys, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, should I just be diverting my energy into doing these sponsorships, like every single one of them? Or should I be working with small businesses or like large corporations? I've kind of just been leaning on doing my own thing with affiliates and doing okay. But I don't know, like, you know, I'm thinking about this AI and affecting, you know, like where all the money is in the creator space. You know, hit me up in the comments. Let me know, like, where do you think all the money is for content creators in this space? Is it affiliate? Is it sponsors? Is it ad revenue? I know damn well it's not ad revenue. And it's got to be in like working with companies and small business, even though it's like so annoying. The corporations have a lot of money as well. I think it's those high ticket clients, you know, where you're making $5K a month on, you know, But yeah, hit me up. I'm kind of just like ranting here a little bit. I listen to these AI podcasts and stuff, and it's just like, it's so scary moving forward as a content creator. It's just like, is this going to take all of our jobs? It's driving me nuts. I know it's not, because it's a creative thing, but it's AI is slowly taking the jobs of all these creative jobs. You know, and they say that you're probably going to be fine if you can adapt with AI, you know, like just become very good with using AI, and then you're not going to lose your job, but you're going to have to work with AI now. So hit me up in the comments. Just kind of ranting here. This is my therapy. So, and consider subscribing. Chances are you're a like-minded person if you're thinking AI and how it's going to affect content creators and media as a whole. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.